Walked into the parliament dressed as a civilization I burned down last year. Stole the frequency key that broadcast on every channel from anywhere. Read the ownership record all the way back to the original hand. The first name in the chain was mine before I had a plan. The parliament frequency gathers once per universal cycle on a station between decisions. Not in space, not in time, in the moment before civilization makes its final divisions. Every surviving delegate wears the mark of what they represent and what they served. I wore the mark of the Aldrani Compact, which I dismantled last cycle for coordinates it deserved. 300 delegates in the chamber, none of them looked at me twice. A space pirate and diplomatic dressed in a room of surviving civilizations is invisible at that price. The target, the frequency key, an object the size of my closed fist that broadcasts simultaneously on every channel in every dimension that exists. No authority has held it for more than one cycle before it transfers and moves. It moves because whoever holds it becomes the thing every other power removes. I found it in the archive chamber behind the secondary delegate hall. Cracked the parliamentary containment in 40 seconds, not difficult at all. Parliamentary archive locks are designed by committee, and committees always leave the same gap. Lower left side, political solution every time, same trap. The key was lighter than its reputation. I secured it, pulled the ownership record, cleared the chamber and read the chain. The first line stopped everything. 4,000 transfers in the record, each documented, dated, marked. I scrolled to the first entry before the parliament existed, before any civilization knew to gather in the dark. Walked into the parliament dressed as a civilization I burned down last year. Stole the frequency key that broadcasts on every channel from anywhere. Read the ownership record all the way back to the original hand. The first name in the chain was mine before I had a plan. The first entry is not a name, it is a physical description recorded with precision. No archive has a right to hold. Origin, a county in southern Illinois I've never told anyone about in any universe code. Mark on the left forearm predating every classification system ever enrolled, and a margin note from whoever built the key and released it. This device is for the one who comes to take it. Build it so it travels far enough that they have to earn the distance. Build it so ownership passes 4,000 times and arrives in the parliamentary archive behind the committee lock on the lower left. I did not steal the frequency key, I retrieved what I built before I existed in this form. In a version of myself I have not lived yet, or lived so far before that the record cannot locate the origin of my name in any storm. Which means I go back and build it. Already went, and this is the cycle where the version of me who built it learns what it built and why it drew the chain. 4,000 transfers in the record, each documented, dated, marked. I scrolled to the first entry before the parliament existed, before any civilization knew to gather in the dark.
Walked into the parliament dressed as a civilization I burned down last year.
Stole the frequency
Key that broadcasts on every channel from anywhere.
Read the ownership record all the way back to the original hand. The first name in the chain was mine before I had a plan. I will not pretend to calculate whether I go back or whether the going back is done. Whether time is a loop I ride or a record I navigate. Whether the version of me that wrote the first entry was choosing or was run. The frequency key broadcasts on every channel, no authority has a claim. 4,000 transfers across every universal cycle, and in a room I entered wearing another civilization as my name. I keep the key. The first entry has a margin note I have not read to the end. It says do not open the second page until you understand what the frequency is for. I do not understand yet, which means I am not done.
Walked into the parliament dressed as a civilization I burned down last year.
Stole the frequency key
that broadcast on every channel from anywhere.
Read the ownership record all the way back to the original hand. The first name in the chain was mine before I had a plan. 4,000 entries. First one is mine, last one is today. I keep the key. The second page stays closed.